just like you. Pressure to sell all
I joined YAC because I'm really interested in learning new perspectives, and I think it's really nice to, go around my own community and learn things that I haven't learned before. And if I learn more about stuff that I didn't know before, I can, grow up and change it.
It's amazing to me how we have children living in Miami-Dade, 20 miles away from each other, and they've never had the opportunity or the reason for some to walk across those barriers of difference, those streets that become those borders or barriers. And so this year, these youth have planned opportunities for their peers to see the neighborhoods that they live in. And so the YAC North invited all of our YAC members on a historic Overtown tour where we got to walk the neighborhood. We got to have the opportunity to have presentations by the historic Black Police Precinct and Courthouse. And we also got to get our hands in the soil and learn about sustainability in the Green Haven Community Gardening Project.
It feels pretty great, to see the kids coming in. You'll see the looks on their face. They probably didn't know things like this existed, and they didn't know that, even though it's a law enforcement family, they didn't know that there were separations, before we all came together and be as one rather than two separate entities serving one city.
When I go back to my community, I'm going to take the lessons of being respectful and kind to everyone around me. I'm going to make sure to talk to minorities and people of color and make sure that we all feel connected.
YAC Central invited the teens to come out and first meet at the Perez Art Museum, Miami, and educate other teens about sustainability practices, and then go over to the historic Virginia Key Beach Park, where they got to kayak, many for the first time, with manatees. They got to clean up the shoreline, check out the mountain biking trails that many don't even know exist here in Miami-Dade. YAC Far South got our YACers together, and we got to experience the agricultural world of Homestead, along with our provider and partner, the Mexican American Council. We got to tour the nation's first cyberarium, and as well the Seminole Theater.
When we're on the farms here, I learned where all our produce comes from and how much these farmers struggle to keep up for themselves, how to feed themselves, and to just to pay for housing and to keep themselves clean. It really showed me another side of Florida. How there's the people they're living normal lives up in in Miami-Dade, and then we have people who are struggling here in Homestead.
And finally, the YACers got a chance to see a beautiful location. It's called a Patch of Heaven Sanctuary, and they got to reforest a whole section of it while also learning about its historic beauty.
Well, I'm here at this sanctuary, and it was really cool. The place is very peaceful and serene, and you can just hear the water, and it's very calming to be here.
It was great having the YACers here because they managed to accomplish planting our new host garden for larvae of butterflies, native butterflies. What they did we couldn't have accomplished and would have taken us several weeks to accomplish, and they did it in a couple hours. So.
Our YAC South invited their fellow peers to come down to the South Dade area and participate in building food forests across several local schools in their neighborhoods. Our YAC West and Kendall teams actually put on several resource fairs throughout their communities, and they also partnered with the Healthy West Kendall, where they got to engage around ethics, learn a little bit about ethics, participate in some guest speakers, and then they were able to provide their community with boost kits around self-esteem for the youth in their communities that participate in Project Upstart. The final thing that's wrapping up our YAC year is rounding out this tour of Miami-Dade by bringing all of the YAC members to downtown to see the hustle and bustle of the day-to-day, to tour the Children's Courthouse, and have an opportunity to speak to local elected officials and even have an appearance in front of our Board of County Commissioners. The passion and the innovative desire of these high school youth from across Miami-Dade gives me so much hope for each day. And I will say I'm looking forward to what the YAC year will bring for next year.